Hello, hello, and thank you all for joining. Let me get my camera on here. Thank you all for joining the Relocating to Tampa Bay. What you need to know before your move. Thank you again for joining. My name is Melba Kills of Power Real Estate Group. And today we're going to talk about what you should do and what you should know before moving to Tampa Bay. So, if you are with me, go ahead and let me know what city, what state you're joining us from. In the chat, let me know what city and state you're joining us from. All right. I see Raleigh, Denver. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, again, thank you for joining me today. I am for joining the Relocating to Tampa Bay, what you need to know before you move. All right, so who this webinar is for buyers considering the move to the Tampa Bay area, out of state buyers who want to clarify before they start searching, buyers deciding between areas, home types, and timelines. Even if you are joining me from right here in the Tampa Bay area, this is still a workshop for you. If you have questions, because I'm going to be answering them tonight, if you have questions about what you should know to move, if you are a first-time home buyer, if you're interested in VA financing and FHA financing, this is the workshop that you need to be in. So thank you for joining. I'm going to give you as much information as you will need, as if you were moving to the Bay yourself. All right, so what you're going to learn tonight, how to narrow down the right area. As you guys are aware of, Tampa Bay is a huge metropolitan area. Over 4 million people live in Tampa Bay. Um, you're going to learn what what a different budget actually buys you, how out of state buying process works. I'm going to go through my process with you. I'm going to talk with you about the mistakes that you need to avoid before buying, mistakes that we are seeing, that I am seeing in my relocation buyers all the time. I am going to help you not make those mistakes. All right, so let me tell you a little about me. As you can see, I have more than 19 years of experience in banking and mortgage lending. What that means is I have been an underwriter. An underwriter is the person that ultimately decides your loan amount. If you are approved based on qualifying what that lender's qualifiers are, if you are approved and what you are approved for, the terms of your loan. I have done that. I know what underwriters need to approve your loan. I've also been a mortgage loan officer. I was the person that took the application. I took your application and prepared it to send to the processors who sent it to the underwriters. I sat on that side. I worked for Bank of America. I sat on that side of sales, working with clients every day on VA financing and FHA financing and conventional loans. I also was a mortgage processing manager. What that meant was I managed the team who took the documents from the mortgage loan officer, who prepared the file, and then sent those documents down to underwriting. What this means and how it works in your favor is I know what it takes to get a deal done. I know what it takes. I'm not a loan officer anymore, but I know what it takes. And by helping you with because as your realtor, I'm going to know a lot about you. We're going to get to know each other very intimately. And with that, I know I can work right hand in hand with your mortgage loan officer to send down the documents that are needed to get your loan approved, to get it sent down and approved within a timely manner so we can get it closed. and get you in your home. I can help. I will never step on the toes of your lender. However, I can answer those questions that you are going to have. Because the one thing I know, having worked the entire mortgage process from in or yes, mortgage process from end to end, now as a realtor and as a mortgage loan officer and processing and underwriting, I know it's going to be overwhelming. There will be times where you may feel like you have gotten in over your head. But that is why I am here to help you understand the process and answer those questions that will keep you up. I promise you, those questions will keep you up in the middle of the night. And you're going to want to text me and you're going to say, Mel, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. And I'm going to say, we talked about this in the beginning. I told you that there would be a little bit of sticker shock. I told you that you would feel overwhelmed and want to walk away. But let me remind you of why you're doing this in the first place. That's what I'm going to do. And I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I might be sleeping, but I wake up at 7, I will respond. But we will get through this. Um, I am a licensed realtor in both Florida and in North Carolina. If you can't hear it, I am native North Carolinian. I have been in Tampa Bay now for just over 3 years. I moved here just because I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe you are on this call with me right now for a reason. And that's why I'm here. I woke up one morning and I said, it's time for a change. It's time for a life shift. And 2 months later, I was looking for an apartment in Tampa. And then 2 months later, I was living here. And 3 months later, I was a realtor. And a year and a half later, I had left my corporate job for real estate. I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I believe that you have joined this call today and um and I'm going to answer any questions that you have. And if you feel aligned with what I am saying, if you feel aligned with me, you may decide to choose me as your realtor. And I believe that that all happens for a reason. Um, I specialize in relocation and new construction. But what I want people, there's a huge misconception when I say relocation. People think I only mean relocating from outside of Florida. No, relocation is relocating, baby. You could live in one city. You could live in Orlando and relocate to Tampa Bay. It is not the same. You can live in Brandon, which is a part of Tampa Bay. If you live outside of the state, you may not know that, and relocate to South Tampa or New Tampa or Wesley Chapel, and it is not the same. Tampa Bay is different depending on the part of the city or the town that you live in, and sometimes even within the community, there are communities that are different. So I also specialize in new construction, but not just new construction. If you want to resell home, I am familiar with Tampa Bay. I've been doing this for a few years, and so I'm familiar with Tampa Bay. But if you want to build your home, I have relationships with a number of different builders throughout Tampa Bay that I am very, very happy to walk you through the process. As I stated, I personally relocated to Tampa Bay, understanding the process on both sides. I know real estate from the beginning to the end. My grandma used to say, from the rooter to the tutor, I know real estate. And I am here because my ultimate goal is to help you understand the process that you are in, because again, you will be overwhelmed. You will, but you will always have me, or I will always be available to answer questions. All right. So I focus on helping buyers make informed, strategic decisions, not just finding a home. It is, yes, at the end of the day, when you walk away from me and we don't speak again until you get a Christmas card from me in the mail, my job is to make sure that you walk away informed. On those days that you feel like you are overwhelmed, my job is to make you feel informed. My job is to help you make strategic decisions. That is the best decision for you and your family. All right. Why are people moving to Tampa Bay? Let me tell you, there are no state income taxes. People are moving to Tampa Bay because the economy is it's wild right now. But there are no state income taxes. Year-round warm weather. Who wouldn't want to live in a place where, yes, now let me tell you, we did get a little cold in January, February, the whole entire country. We were not exempt. There was a part though I saw a meme that said some in my family, because my family were in from North Carolina, were sending it to me, and they said, Mel, can we borrow some heat from Florida? Because at one point the entire country was freezing and we were sitting in the 80s in January. Who wouldn't want that? Who would not want year-round warm weather? People are moving to Florida because access to the beaches, waterfront living, and outdoor activities year round. Strong population growth. Let me tell you, Tampa Bay is one of the fastest growing cities right now. We are not Miami. It is not as heavily populated as Miami, but it is the time to get in because it's growing fast. The economy, because Tampa is growing fast, the housing market is booming. The housing market is booming. Tampa has, I think, was rated number 3 of one of the fastest growing cities in the country for 2026. Now is the time to move to Tampa Bay. Not just Florida, but now is the time to move to Tampa Bay. If you feel what I'm saying, if you understand what I'm saying, go ahead and drop I hear you, girl, in the chat. Let me know you understand what I'm saying. Tell me you hear me with what I'm saying, that year-round warm weather is where you want to be. A mix of urban, suburban, and master plan communities, all of that. So, let me tell you, sometimes it feels like you could be 1 mile down the street and it feels very urban. And you go a mile down the street and it feels it's suburbia. It feels very suburbia and suburban. And then there are these master plan communities that are communities within each other. If you don't understand what a master plan community, because let me tell you, in North Carolina, we did not have master plan communities. We had subdivisions. A master plan community is a community within a community within a community. There are tons of builders in these communities. If you're here, you may have seen one of them. I had a very popular video on Maria, got it. It's Epperson and Meridia. And there is a 15-acre man-made lagoon within this community. And there are at least 10 builders in different stages of the building. Right now, there are 3 building right now in this phase of building. But what that means is there are, again, different builders building in different phases. But if think about this, a 15-acre lagoon, roughly 40 to 50 Olympic size pools within a community. Where I'm from, we say in a subdivision, it's 40 to 50 size Olympic pools within a master planned community. So when you think about that, many of these master plan communities have schools right within the community. That's a master plan. Community with That's how I like to think of it, a community within a community within a community. All right, so more space and value compared to many other major markets. When we think about like New York, you're gonna first of all super overpriced, very small home, super expensive. For here, you are getting your money's worth for what you are getting. But it's all sizes. We have there, I mean, obviously there are going to be starter homes, there are going to be move-up homes, there are new constructions. If you have not had the opportunity to, I'm going to put my YouTube channel in the chat. I want you to go and look at my YouTube channel, and or if you're not following me on social media, make sure you follow me because I do all the time, which is probably how you found me. I do community tours because people have no idea. Because when I moved here, let me tell you, I had no idea what I was walking into. I had no idea what I was walking into because every part of Tampa is so completely different. Many of you are probably, when I first came here, because I told you, I believe everything happens for a reason. When I first came here, I had visited Tampa one time when I decided to move. I fell in love with Tampa Bay off one visit, and I hadn't even seen a quarter of what's here. And I fell in love with it. And I know that's probably you too. Tell me in the chat, have you visited? And if you have visited, what made you think about moving to Tampa? What do you have family here? Is it work? What's bringing you to Tampa? That's what I want to know. Okay, work, family, warm weather. Yes, yes. All those things that I came here in June. I had no idea about the rainy season because if you've been, you know we have a rainy season. I came here in June. And I remember in being in my hotel out in Channelside. I don't That's the one part of very close to downtown Tampa. And it rained every day. And I thought, why does it rain every day? But the rain would last 15 minutes, and after that, it would be gone. And the rest of the day would be beautiful as if nothing had happened. That is what you get with Tampa in June. And of course, again, in January, when the rest of the country are in freezing temperatures, you get to lay by the pool some days. That's what you get for when you move to Tampa. All right, let's talk about the cost of living, and what's the difference in Tampa Bay. All right, so many relocating buyers experts, I mean, what many relocating buyers expect. You expect lower overall costs compared to where you're moving from. You expect monthly payments based on purchase price. You expect insurance costs similar to other states. Well, let me tell you. So, lower costs compared to where you're moving from, you have to know these things. This is what a lot of people don't realize when they're moving to Tampa Bay. Homeowners insurance can be higher and vary significantly by the property. Obviously, if you're at a waterfront home, you're going to have flood insurance, because you may be now. I listen. I'm gonna tell you one other thing. When I decided to move here, I knew I wanted to come to Florida, and again, I told you I'd only been to Tampa one time. And of course, even though I'm from North Carolina, about 2 hours inland, and I'm used to hurricanes, however, as we know, Florida is surrounded by water. Um, my family said, "Oh boy, I don't know about those hurricanes." And so I did my little research on Tampa because I was sold and I didn't know these things. And Tampa has only had one direct hit in 100 years. Okay, my first year here, we didn't get a direct hit, but we got a corner of the hit. Like it was very close. And my parents and my family, my children all thought, okay, you said Tampa didn't get hit. And I said, okay, yeah, but Wasn't bad. It was not as bad as what we thought. We actually did get very lucky. And again, this is what I like to say. One hurricane in 100 years compared to 364 beautiful days. I'll take it. I'll take it. Tell me in the chat if you'll take it. Say, I'll take it if you'll take it. All right. So, homeowners insurance can be higher and varies significantly by property. Flood zones matter. Some homes require separate flood insurance. You're not going to live in Clearwater or St. Pete and not expect to have home flood insurance. That's just not realistic, right? So if you want a beachfront home or a waterfront home, then you're going to know you're expected to have flood insurance. However, if you are looking like there are also a lot of these communities have man-made lakes in within the community. You wouldn't need to necessarily have flood insurance if that's what you decided. But that's why I'm here to find out what you need, find out what you want, and get it for you. All right. CDD fees are common in newer communities. They are paid in your property taxes. Now, I was also not familiar with CDD fees, but they you do need to be aware that in many of these planned communities, CDD fees are likely going to be there. There, you will most likely have CDD fees. But if you are not interested in a home that has CDD fees, or if you find a home that you just love, then you know that the CDD fees will be there. But there are so many homes on the market right now. We can find you a home that may not have CDD fees, but you do need to be aware of them. Property taxes are based on the purchase price, which can increase after closing. The biggest thing when I was a mortgage loan officer, I had so many of my clients come to me and come back to me because I worked for a bank. So they banked with me, with the bank that I worked for. And for me, because I actually was a branch manager in the bank that I ended up being a mortgage loan officer for. So my customers would come to me and they would say, Melba, no one told me that my insurance would change, that it would go up, especially these new constructions. And I said, as a realtor now, I make sure that my clients are aware. If you're buying a newly constructed home, you have to know this. That first year, your taxes, your property taxes will be based on land, not the home. And so the next year, when you have lived there and you now have this beautiful home, your property taxes will be based on the home, not the land. So I always want to make sure that my clients are aware of that. And I thought, this is something that's really important. This isn't just Tampa. This is just in general. All right. So, insurance costs similar to other states. No, no, no. Yes, because it varies. Depends on the state. But your total monthly cost depends on your location, not just the home price when it comes to insurance. All right. So, what I want to do here is I want to stop and see if anyone has any questions. Okay. All right. So, this is what I would like to do. Let's get back over here on this screen. As I said, I have dropped my links to my social media in the chat. Please go ahead and follow me because this is where you're going to get the most updated information. Also, if you are interested in scheduling, excuse me, if you are interested in scheduling a consultation for free, no pressure. If you are interested in scheduling a consultation with me, go ahead and do so. I'm going to put a link to my calendar here as well. So go ahead and schedule a free consultation with me, and we can talk about what it is in the consultation. And you'll get this when you schedule the consultation, it's going to ask you what it is you're wanting to do. It's going to ask you your time frame. It's going to ask a lot of questions because questions that I really need to know in order to help you the best way I can. The other things that I want to tell you guys about, I have three preferred lenders, and they all specialize in different things. And if you are concerned about your credit score, I think I'm not going to say that you don't have to be, but you should speak with one of my lenders. He specializes in helping people get approved with credit scores that may be challenging. That should not stop you. And if you're in a place where your credit score is challenging and you're not ready, he will help you get ready. So don't sell yourself out of the American dream because you're not ready today, because that doesn't mean you won't ever be ready. Also, I have a um these are mortgage brokers, and I have a broker who, if you're a nurse, or if you're a doctor or a dentist or dental hygienist, she specializes in helping those who actually work in the medical field. I have three preferred lenders. I also have a Bank of America because some people prefer to work with the bank. I have a community development mortgage loan officer who works with the bank that I can refer you to. So I have a number of people on my team that can help you get approved and will give you the best rates, because I also recommend that you shop around. You don't just use the first lender. You should rate shop, because one, right now with the economy being what it is, a lot of lenders are actually giving you incentives or credits, or and a lot of sellers are giving credits and paying closing costs and concessions. So it is right now probably one of the best times to actually buy. I know that people are afraid because the rates are going up. But when you actually decide and pick a lender, and when you're rate shopping, or and we can talk about it. We can talk about if this lender is a good fit for you. That's what I'm here for. I use my knowledge in business, use my knowledge in the world of banking and mortgage lending, and we can talk about it and see if it's a good fit. But I do recommend getting um, three quotes, and then when you choose one, they will lock your rate in. You don't have to worry about if rates are going to change next week or next month, because they will lock your rate in for the time frame that we're thinking we're going to take to close on the home, once you actually find a home. When you schedule your consultation with me, and you've already completed your buyer questionnaire, I will immediately go ahead and start to send you over homes. We will schedule tours immediately, because if depending on what your time frame is, I work within your time frame to find your perfect home, so that we can get your rate locked in, and we don't have to worry about those things. But also, the other thing I want to talk with you guys about right now is down payment assistance. A lot of homes are qualifying for down payment assistance. And no, it doesn't have to be a home that's just, and then not to say that a home that's 200,000 or 300,000. I have a listing right now that's listed for 565,000, that qualifies for up to $21,000 in down payment assistance. So it doesn't, there are homes that are qualifying for down payment assistance. So you think about this. This is why I say this is the perfect time to buy. You have lenders offering incentives and credits. You have sellers offering concessions, and you have down payment assistance. So sometimes you may even be able to walk away from closing without having paid anything other than your earnest money. So it is a great time to actually buy. I don't the rate should not scare you, because there are so many things that are incentives and programs that are happening right now that back when I was a mortgage loan officer, it was a time where rates were 3.25. So that tells you that was maybe 6 or 7, 8, 9 years ago. Um, but banks were not offering to pay your appraisal. And lenders right now are offering credits because because the market does look a little weird. And so they want to get your business. And we in your I my preferred lenders, they are great. They are great, but I am good too. And so we can say, what can you do? Can you offer this? Can you pay appraisal? Can you what how much, can we get to buy down the rate? Because with these down payment assistance and we have sellers offering concessions, we may be able to buy down your rate some. There are different ways. If you are looking at a an existing home. Some of these homes are on the market right now, already have FHA financing and are assumable. I have a home on the market. This is in North Carolina though. But I'm sure that there are others like that. I have a home on the market in North Carolina right now that is listed for 308,000 with a 2.75 assumable FHA rates. So there are things out here that are possible. Don't let the rates scare you and keep you from buying your home. Um, so again, you make sure you go ahead if you don't already. Follow me on my social media platforms. It's going to be where you get a little bit of funny, you get some market updates, you get the homes that I have listed, and they're also going to be on my website. The homes that my team has listed. You're going to get insight from my lenders, newsletters from my lenders. And then again, you're gonna know what homes are out there and what's happening in the market. And also, if you are ready, go ahead and schedule your free consultation with me. You don't have to be ready to buy today to start the process of knowing, where you are. Because a lot of times what I find, if people speak with a lender and they find that they are actually ready and they didn't think that they were, they go ahead and buy. Because I wouldn't wait for the rates to come down. I wouldn't wait for rates to come down because we don't know when that'll be. We don't know. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what the market's going to be like a month from now or 6 months from now. So I say now is the perfect time because if you're good, what I saw a meme the other day that said, if I had bought 5 years ago, and then it said today, oh, I'll wait 5 years from now to buy. I'll wait on rates, and every 5 years you say, oh, I should have bought 5 years ago. Oh, I should have bought 5 years ago. Because let me tell you, my home in North Carolina, when I sold it to move here, I had earned $100,000 in equity. This is why owning a home is not just the American dream. It is also a way to build generational legacy, build generational wealth. You guys know, I believe everything happens for a reason. So I believe you are here today for a reason. So, all right, let's see. Does anyone have any questions? All right, guys, I thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with me. I hope that you have learned something. I hope that my story has inspired you to buy or build your first home. And if I don't get to say it in the future, welcome to Tampa Bay. Have a great night. Thank you, guys.